having been a former smoker, without this product, I first and foremost would not have my current livelihood. And secondly, I would be in a far worse state health-wise. The memorandum of the investigations and conclusions of the city manager's working group on e-cigarettes dated May 19th, 2014 references the positions taken by the Tempe City Chamber of Commerce, Tempe Tourism, and downtown Tempe community on the increased regulation of e-cigarettes in Tempe. In regards to this, the memorandum asserts the Chamber recommends no new regulation on private businesses. However, Tempe Tourism and the DTC are taking a neutral position. As a member of the community whose livelihood is directly impacted by the outcome of this decision, I urge you to reject the alterations to the ordinance at hand so we do not overregulate an industry with great potential for growth and public good into oblivion on the basis of inconclusive research. The first page of E-Cigarettes, a scientific review, the journal put out by the American Heart Association, which was fervently cited on in the anti-e-cig literature found on the city clerk's website, along with the agenda for tonight's meeting, there lies a very powerful disclaimer. E-cigarette products are changing quickly, and many of the findings from studies of older products may not be relevant to the assessment of newer products that could be safer and more effective as nicotine delivery devices. This throws into question every study cited by the opponents of these products. In addition, a study conducted by Dr. Ivor Burston at Drexel University in August 2013 tested the vapor produced by electronic cigarettes against established threshold limit values for workplace safety. 50% of the threshold is generally warrants attention to potential health hazards. Most of the compiled research placed the vapor produced at less than 1% of the threshold in an enclosed area. The conclusion of the study was that the exposure would not be a cause for concern or a call for remedial action. Tempe bans cigarettes in public places because they present a clear, present, and documented danger to public health, one that is not demonstrably found in e-cigs. If nothing else, it is for this reason that you should reject proposed changes to the ordinance. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I think it's kind of unfair. Like most people who use e-cigs, like myself, smoked 25 years, got an e-cig, haven't had a cigarette since. So passionate about it, I said I have to help people quit smoking. You know, I don't know if any of you ever smoked. It's hard to quit. The e-cig was a miracle for me. And I think right now my customer database in my store has something like 7,500 people. It looks like smoking, it's not. You know, it's a water vapor. You know, it's it has an odor, sure. Sometimes there's nicotine in it, sometimes there's not. A cup of coffee at Starbucks has vapor. It has a stimulant called caffeine in it. Some people don't like the smell. You know, are you gonna say, don't drink coffee in public places?
What they're proposing, this sign is on the door of the Guadalupe Town building right now. They're preparing to make this the law. It's very reasonable. And it simply says, wherever you don't smoke, you don't put anything in the air that is unknown as to its dangers. The studies on e-cigarettes are incomplete. It's going to take 10 to 20 years to rule out cancer. When you heat nicotine, you get nitrosamines. So we don't have the studies to say they're safe. So you keep using something until somebody dies, and then you say, well, maybe we should restrict it? No. So I was virtually ready to be beaten up in front of one of our banks down here, where a man was puffing away, and I said, well, I'm the old country doctor grandpa, I don't want to be mean to you, but shouldn't you get at least 20 feet away from the entrance to the bank, at the entrance here, for your puffing? And he said, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to do what I want to do, it's just water vapor, you don't know a thing about it. And he called me a few names and said I was full of something. And all that. Then when I went to that bank again this week, one of the tellers came forward and he said, I apologize to you. I'm a smoker. But if that guy tries to beat you, I'm going to be the first one out there to defend you. You are just trying to protect the health of people. You've been a kind-hearted customer here for 30 years, and we're not going to let anybody beat up on you. And the other tellers kind of got around it. They said, we'll be an escort for you, going out there to protect old Dr. Fairbanks. So I say thank you. I've talked to Enjoy. I don't think we're as far apart as people think. I thank them for treating me with respect. I think we do need the research that they want to do. We need the research. Just don't do it in the city council meeting here. Don't do it while these people are all out here. And this is what is happening now. People are going into the non-smoking restaurants and lighting up. No, they aren't lighting up. I'll change it. They're just puffing up. They're puffing up and heating up. And when you heat nicotine, it releases nitrosamines that are not released at room temperature. So they're putting stuff in the air that is not declared safe. I just came from the U.S. Public Health Service National Meeting in Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Surgeon General said, and we talked to the Marriott Hotel right next door. They said there were people getting into a fight here the other night, and we didn't know what to do. Some said the e-cigarettes knocked the water vapor, and others said they haven't been tested adequately. You can't say the water vapor. And they said, what do we do? And I said, I'm going to talk to the Surgeon General. And I'll come back with an answer. So I came back and I showed it, well, it's easy. Tell them, if they think they're less hazardous, go out to where you smoke. And use your less hazardous product out in the smoking area. But inside here, where you're world known as a non-smoking facility, they don't do their research here. So anyway, the Surgeon General said, you're on solid ground. Tell the folks in Guadalupe with this sign, thank you. We stand behind you. And I've stood behind the folks in Tempe and many of you out here helping us to get these kind of no smoking signs. And this simply says, for the city of Guadalupe, no smoking, including electronic cigarettes or other electronic devices in places that are non-smoking. If you want to smoke your other devices, go out to where you smoke. If they're less hazardous, more power to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matthew Berger, and I own and operate Butt Out, an electronic cigarette retail shop and lounge located on Mill Avenue at 401 South Mill. Honored members of the council, Mayor Mitchell, I come to you tonight with concern. My fear is that ignorance and hearsay will stifle the ability of small businesses to control what happens in their own property. As a user of electronic cigarettes as a tobacco alternative for the past 3 years, as well as a small business owner, I urge this council to allow business owners such as myself to determine for themselves if vaping, which is electronic cigarette usage, is permitted, rather than have that be dictated by this council. Not only does usage of this product leave little to no odor indoors, having Tempe, especially Mill Avenue, be vaping friendly will increase business, both in increased revenue for customers staying longer at these respective businesses, but also helping to maintain Tempe and Mill Avenue's reputation as a destination. I see thousands of customers a month, lots of them, many of them get food, drinks, buy from the shops around town, so it brings money not just to me, but to all of Mill Avenue and Tempe as well. Conversely, use of electronic cigarettes are banned in public places, including privately owned shops and restaurants. Customers will stay for less time and less people will visit Tempe. I'll be blunt, it's not going to harm just me, but it's going to harm every business on Mill Avenue and Tempe. That being said, it is our responsibility as vapers to exercise proper etiquette while vaping indoors, as well as promoting this product to adults only and helping to educate individuals who lack proper information about this product. In closing, I appreciate your time and urge you to consider my words from the dual perspective from a vapor and a business owner. Thank you.
I'm Vice President of Arizona's concerned about smoking, and I retired from ASU after 20 years. While I did ASU, I had a great deal of trouble with employees smoking, and it was difficult to curtail it. They were kind of smart. They would take 20-minute smoke breaks and come in time for a break and take another break. So productivity of my smoking employees is very low. But coming back to what the issue is at this time, given that the addiction of tobacco and the sense of self-entitlement of smokers there's a difficult way to stop them from smoking in public. Even if you enact an ordinance, which I hope you do, they will still smoke. It's like blowing smoke in our face. The kids learn from what they see. I'm the founder of Arizonans Concerned About Drugs. We're the Red Ribbon campaign every year, and we focus on trying to keep kids from getting addicted to drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and all other things. But kids learn from what they see, so you let people smoke. Again, to me, it's like blowing smoke in their faces. They learn. They think it's cool. They want to do it. But we urge you to consider all the scientific facts that are coming out, which at this time do not say it's a safe thing to do. So I end with that, and I thank you.
Yes, good evening, Council. My name is Philip Carpenter. I'm the Executive Director of Arizonans Concerned About Smoking. I'd just like to add briefly on what Alex Romero and Dr. Fairbanks have said this evening. The Federal Aviation Administration has banned e-cigarettes on all commercial flights. Also, several large national airports in our country have also banned e-cigarettes inside their terminals, and they're basically saying if you want to use the e-cigarettes, please go to a designated smoking area outside. And more of these airports are making that transition because it's just causing a lot of conflict when you see someone vaping inside an airport terminal. In closing, I feel it's more important to be preventative until we know the science behind e-cigarettes. I support including e-cigarettes in your regulation of smoking policy. Thank you.
I'd like to take this opportunity to present a point of view on this proposed essential reclassification from the viewpoint of what impact this legislation would bring to your constituents, the citizens that this City Council works so hard to protect. I bring with me today and available to you a number of studies that can shed some light on the misconceptions that have been presented to this council as well as many others across the country. I'd encourage you to examine the studies and notice the glaring points that jump off the page. The fact is, many of the arguments that anti-electronic cigarette lobbyists are using just simply aren't true and don't stand up to close scientific scrutiny. We ask that you look past the politics and misinformation fed to the public and public servants alike to see this product for what it really is, a tool. In fact, a useful tool for some of us, including myself. A tool to help rid us of the unhealthy habit of smoking and harming our bodies and those we love and work around every day. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, Mr. Mayor, this device and its users are indeed pioneers. Pioneers in the sense that they took control of their destructive habit and created a harm reduction industry that vastly improves public health. We believe it would be wrong to legislate a pioneering device that has so much potential to save lives and work as a stepping stone to better public health. Across the country and around the globe, we're beginning to see local and state governments enacting permanent legislation on a product they have never studied and have received erroneous secondhand information about. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of irresponsible government.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Matt Morales. I'm the Executive Director of the National Association of Vaping Businesses, a national trade association based right here across the water in Phoenix, Arizona. Everyone that's here tonight that's here for our band, for National Association of Vaping Business, would you please stand? We're being real nice tonight. I don't want everyone to speak, but I wanted you to know we only have so many people speaking to you tonight. We don't want to take up too much of your time. Guys, you've heard of lack of productivity from smoking. We're against smoking too. We've seen businesses that have had their people stay indoors, in their offices, and vape, and not head out for every 15, 20 minutes to go take a smoke break. Not be subject to the heat, not be subject to the cold. Have a higher morale, do a better job, and have high productivity. What we see here is a chance to make a claim because we know that the city of Tempe is a beacon for many other cities across the United States. What is done here in Tempe, many other of your compatriots across the United States see as something to hold on to. They've seen your growth, they've seen your action, and what I'd like to do is be here to show you that we have the scientific data. It's been 7 to 8 years since these studies have begun. These devices are not unlike other devices that have been out there before. Now, time has come on, they're better. They do more for you. And over this next month, what I'm going to be showing you, in fact, I get to meet with you personally, is to show you that we have the data. We have the scientific knowledge that shows that when a person is flaming tobacco and combusting nicotine, that's when those things happen. But this is a low combustion, no combustion product. So the ideas of science that have to do with a previous act have nothing to do with this act. I'm going to close right now by introducing you to a letter by some 50 different scientists throughout the world who are addressing the World Health Organization this month. To Dr. Margaret Chan, Director General of the World Health Organization. They say, we are writing in advance of important negotiations on tobacco policy later in the year at the FCTC 6th Conference of the Parties. The work of the World Health Organization and the FCTC remains vital in reducing the intolerable toll of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and respiratory illness caused by tobacco use. As the World Health Organization has stated, up to 1 billion preventable tobacco-related premature deaths are possible in the 21st century. Such a toll of death, disease, and misery demands that we are relentless in our search for our possible, practical, ethical, and lawful ways to reduce this burden. It is with concern, therefore, that a critical strategy appears to have been overlooked or even purposefully marginalized in preparations for this meeting. We refer to tobacco harm reduction. The idea that 1.3 billion people who currently smoke could do much less harm to their health if they consume nicotine in this low-risk, non-combustible form.